Okay, today we're going to be talking about monotheistic religions. We are going to obviously be talking about Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Those are the three main religions in the world that are monotheistic. This is kind of just a brief, quick intro to these type of religions. What we're going to do is on your Cornell notes, you'll write down the essential question, which is, comparing Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, what are three similarities? So obviously in box 1 on the left-hand side, which is the little box, you will write in different questions throughout, and then you will write your notes, graphs, timelines on the opposite side, which is the big box. I call it box number 2. Okay, when we finish the slideshow, you are going to use that time to write yourself a summary answering this question. So you're going to answer this question right here in a few sentences at the end of this. So the first question we're going to ask ourselves is, what is religion? Okay, this question is going to go in box 1, which is the littler box on the left-hand side of your paper. The reason we're asking ourselves the first question is because if we're going to talk about religion, we at least need to know on a bare bones level what actually religion is. So religion is any specific beliefs about deity or a higher power, often involving rituals, a code of ethics, and a philosophy of life. Philosophy is something that you believe in, how you do the things you do throughout your life, how you live your life basically. Code of ethics is good versus not good, right? Good versus bad. Rituals are something that you do repeatedly, okay? Ritualistically, all right? So the next question we're going to ask ourselves is, what is monotheism? If we break down that word, mono means one. Theism means the belief in the existence of a god or gods, right? So if it was more than one god, it would be polytheism. But since we're talking about one god, we're speaking about monotheism. So obviously, the big one on the side there, you should be able to tell what it is. It is the belief in only one God, which is what Christianity, Judaism, and Islam all believe in. So naturally, now that we've broken down the two, what is religion, what is monotheism, we need to know what the first religion we talk about is, which is Judaism. And here are just some general facts about Judaism to kind of help you get just a general understanding of it. Very vague. So Judaism was started around 1812 BCE, which stands for Before Common Era, used to be called BC, by a guy named Abraham. Okay, it was one of the first religions, well, the first religion to believe in only one God. It uses rules that are called the 10 Commandments. The holy book for Judaism is called the Torah. Now, holy book often gets, those two words often get replaced with Bible. So some people would say that this is the Jewish Bible. That's not correct. They are holy books, okay? They're not Bibles. It's not the Jewish Bible, Christian Bible, Islamic Bible. They're holy books, okay? Torah is the name of that book. Okay, so the next religion we're talking about is Christianity. So the question you're going to put in box number 1 also is, what is Christianity? So it was started about 2,000 years ago by a guy named Jesus of Nazareth. It uses rules called the 10 Commandments. Okay, Judaism also uses this. Jesus of Nazareth was actually a Jewish person. It wasn't until after his death that people founded Christianity, which was the following of Jesus's teachings. And we'll learn more about this throughout the year. Christians, which are the followers of Jesus, believe that Jesus is the Son of God or the Messiah. The Holy Book is the Bible, both the New and the Old Testament. Now, the New Testament is essentially a following of Jesus's life, written down by multiple different people, mostly by Apostle Paul. And finally, the last religion we're going to talk about is Islam. What is Islam? Okay. So Islam began around 600 CE, which is Common Era. It was started by a guy named Muhammad. They believe that he was the prophet. It uses rules that are called the 5 pillars of faith. Now, these 5 pillars of faith, you can compare them to the 10 commandments. They are a list of different ways to live your life if you are a follower of Islam. Their holy book is called the Quran. Okay. The followers of Islam are known as Muslims. So now we're going to talk about how to read a history timeline. So if you look to the lower portion of your paper in your Cornell notes, you should see something that looks like this. Okay, so now this is sort of like a number timeline, right? So obviously you're going to have a 0 in the middle. Okay, now the way I look at it is if you go to the left of the timeline, the numbers get bigger all the way going out, right? So in a number timeline, those numbers actually lose value. Okay. But on a history timeline, the bigger the numbers to the left, the farther back in history and time you go. So obviously, if the numbers get bigger on the right, the closer to the present you are, right? So we're going to do 2017, just a good number to do. Okay, 2017, Common Era. And so on the other side, we'll do 2017 BCE. It won't always equal out to where it's like this, but for this purposes, we will do that. So BCE, obviously, like I said before, stands for before Common Era. Okay, so now we know the first religion that we talked about. We're going to plot it out on this timeline. We're going to also do all 3 of them. Okay, so the first one we talked about was Judaism, and that began in 1812. So you notice there's not a negative in front of that. That's because it's on the BCE side of the 0. That means that 1812 years ago, from the 0, not from now, that's when Judaism began. Okay, now, as we do Christianity, it starts at approximately 100. Okay, starts at about 100 CE. Okay, and then finally we do Islam, which is Islam begins in approximately 600 CE. Okay, so now that we have that done, go ahead and proceed down to the bottom portion of your page and start writing in your summary, answering your essential question.